Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel, and I'm back here again to showcase to you guys some test hands of my Burning Skull Flame deck. This deck has been designed to be Skull Flame and Burning Skull head forward. It's designed, guys, not to be the best version of a zombie deck running these cards, but to be the best version of a deck that wins using all three of those original cards. And so I'll show you guys some of the combos that I have in this deck that can really demonstrate to you how strong of a strategy this is and how strong of a strategy it can be. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate to you guys a powerful 3-card combo that results in a board wipe and multiple searches. And all you need are 3 cards. You need any card that can allow you to ditch a level 5 or higher or any zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard. It could be Delta of Invitation, it could be your Gozuki, it could be anything like that. You need a Goblin Zombie or a way to get it onto the field. And then finally, you need this card, the throwaway common known as the League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes. This card is the key to all of your combos, and I'm about to show you how and why when I demonstrate the combo. So, starting with the combo, we need a way to get our Goblin Zombie onto the board. And now it's time for League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes. Now what this card does is it allows you to target a monster you control and equip 2 more copies of itself as an equip spell card. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to use Goblin Zombie and equip 2 more copies of Goblin Zombie. The equipped monster is unable to attack and it cannot be destroyed by battle as long as it's equipped. In addition, I can only special summon monsters for the rest of the turn with the same type of the monster that I used to equip. But I think you guys can already see where this is going. So League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes will equip 2 more copies of our Goblin Zombie to itself. Now it's time to activate our card that allows for a Foolish Burial. So we're going to activate our field spell, Delta of Invitation. Once per turn, when this card is activated, our Delta of Invitation can send 1 zombie type monster from our deck to our graveyard, as long as it's level 5 or higher. And the zombie we always want to send is Wandering Titan of Tartarus. Now, this is the ultimate end of storm play here, guys, and it's so awesome when this gets triggered. And I'll show you why. When Wandering Titan of Tartarus goes from the deck to the graveyard by any means, it activates its effect. You can send any number of cards you control on the field to the graveyard to special summon this card, and then as a non-target, non-destruction, send the same number of cards your opponent controls from the field to the graveyard, and they cannot respond to that effect with monster effects, guys. So you can wipe massive boards full of Kashtiras or Ryziels or whatever you want with this card, and your opponent cannot respond to it. Now, as you guys can see here, we have 4 cards on the field. And so that means when Wandering Titan hits graveyard and activates, we send 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wandering Titan comes out, and as part of its effect, will send any 4 cards you choose from your opponent's field to the graveyard, which, you know, you're going to seriously screw up any kind of board presence they have with a play that strong. And most of the times, they won't even see it coming. The best part about it is now, all 3 of your Goblin Zombies will trigger. And that allows you to do a search for any zombie-type monster. I think it's like level 4 or lower, 2000 defense or lower. So what you're going to grab is Skull Conductor and 2 copies of our Burning Skull head from our field, from our deck to our hand. And now we have the 3 combos here, and you can do the magical Skull Conductor play. Skull Conductor can discard itself from your hand to the graveyard, allowing you to special summon 2 zombie-type monsters from your hand whose attack power totals 2,000 points. So, special summon both of your Burning Skull head to the field, and you will inflict 1,000 points of damage for each one. So that's 2,000. And now hopefully you've got an empty board here, and maybe you've inflicted a little bit of damage, but who knows? But that's another 1,000, another 1,000, and another 2,600 for 4,600 points of damage. And if you have a way to get even one more skull head onto your field, guys, that's 8,600 points of damage. A powerful, powerful play. Now, your League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes is not only good for utilizing your Goblin Zombies, but also for getting your Burning Skull heads to the field and eventually to the graveyard when you have it. Because you can normal summon your Burning Skull head to the field, and then you activate League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes, allowing you to bring 2 more copies of itself. And when those go to the graveyard, now you've got 3 copies in the graveyard for if you have your Supersonic Skull Flame play. Now, one of the cool things about our League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes, getting all of these cards to the field, is we're trying to load things up here for Wandering Tartarus. Now, it's tough to get these guys off of the field pretty easily due to the zombie type only restriction, restricting the kind of cards that we can summon off of them. But we have some ways to get around that or some interesting stuff. Enter these 3 cards, and these are cards that I purposefully run for one reason and one reason only. They load up our field. Now, Wandering Titan of Tartarus sends any number of cards from the field to the graveyard, and so what we have here with these 2 is a card that sticks around on the board, special summoning a banished type monster. So let's say that our Skull Conductor is banished. It will special summon this. That adds 2 more cards to our field. The same thing with Call of the Haunted, allowing us to special summon a monster from our graveyard, which also adds 2 more cards to our field. And then when Wandering Titan of Tartarus hits the graveyard, it's not going to count, these are going to count towards the grand total of cards. So all of a sudden we go up from 4 to 7. Now, if you enter in quick play spell cards into this mix, if you activate them, so Tartarus's effect can get chained to. If you chain to Tartarus's effect and you activate a quick play spell card, like our, a Burial from a Different Dimension here, now our number goes from 7 to 8 cards that we get to send from our field to our graveyard and send the same number of cards our opponent controls packing. And so there's ways to manipulate the numbers of cards that you can send in this deck from the field to the graveyard using Wandering Titan of Tartarus. So a really, really cool kind of combo piece there that you should be taking full advantage of in this deck. All right, guys, so here's another one of my favorite combos. It only requires these 2 cards. It requires a Pyramid Turtle on the field to be destroyed by battle and a Curse of the Ancient Turtle. Now, most of the times you don't want to depend on your opponent to help you destroy things by battle. So oftentimes what you're going to be doing is using your very own Pyramid Turtle to crash into your opponent's attack position monster to activate this effect. Now, what's cool about this is that Pyramid Turtle can stack with Curse of the Ancient Turtle, and they both get the effect to special a zombie type monster from your deck with 2,000 or less attack power. So what you're going to do is you're going to swing in or have your opponent swing into you. Your Pyramid Turtle will be destroyed, and you'll also proc the effect of your Curse of the Ancient Turtle. And now this is going to allow you to special summon 2 zombie type monsters. And of course that means, guys, you get double Skull Flame to the field. And hopefully your opponent's got monsters that have lower than 2,600 attack power, allowing you to take your double Skull Flames, swing in, and destroy whatever your opponent's got on the board. So one of the cool ways to special summon your Skull Flame, your Burning Skull Head to the field, guys, is to utilize your Gozuki. Your Gozuki allows you once per turn to send a zombie-type monster from your deck to the graveyard. And if this goes to the grave, you banish a zombie-type monster in the graveyard to special summon a zombie from your hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to normal summon our Gozuki onto the field. And then Gozuki's effect is going to activate, and we're going to send Wandering Titan of Tartarus. Wandering Titan of Tartarus is going to trigger, sending our Gozuki to the graveyard to special summon itself, and then you send 1 card your opponent controls to the grave. When Gozuki hits the graveyard, now you can banish any of the zombie-type monsters you already have chilling in there. We'll banish the Pyramid Turtle, because it doesn't really matter whether he's in the grave or banished, to special summon our Burning Skull Head and inflict 1,000 points of damage to our opponent's life points. So one of my favorite combos of all time to pull off in this deck is a combination between the Wandering Titan of Tartarus graveyard slash League of Uniform Nomenclature combo and our Gozuki combo. And the only thing that you need are these 4 cards. Now you might be thinking a 4-card combo is kind of difficult to pull off, but you'd be surprised how often you can assemble these 4 cards. Take, for example, these 2, which you need to have on the field. Now, one of these 2 needs to be on the field by the time that your turn starts, otherwise that the combo won't really work in that sense of things. And so, whichever one of these is on the field, you need to have, at the start of this combo, these 2 cards on the field. Now, that's actually easily accomplishable with our play here with our Pyramid Turtle and our Curse of the Ancient Turtle, allowing us to assemble these 2 pretty easily against most boards that our opponent can make, such that we can have either one or both of them at any one time. So now comes time for our next effect here. All right, so first things first, guys, we're going to activate our League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes. That's going to allow us to equip our Goblin Zombie with 2 more copies of Goblin Zombie. Now, we've got 4 cards on the field. We're going to trigger the effect of our Gozuki. Now, our Gozuki is going to take the place of our field spell and do the sending for us. So now we're going to send the one and only Wandering Titan of Tartarus. Wandering Titan of Tartarus is going to trigger, taking all 4 of these cards with it and sending them to the graveyard. To special summon itself and send 4 cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. And now we get to trigger some effects. We get to trigger our Gozuki and our 3 of these. So we'll chain 1, 2, 3, and Gozuki. Gozuki is going to go first to banish, allowing us to special summon from our hand to the board our Burning Skull Head. And now our other 3 Goblin Zombies trigger, allowing us to add from our deck to our hand our Skull Conductor and our 2 Burning Skull Heads. Now, after all of the chains have resolved, our Burning Skull Head will trigger, inflicting 1,000 points of damage to our opponent. Then, we can discard Skull Conductor from our hand to our graveyard to special summon 2 monsters with a combined total attack power of 2,000 points to our field. We're going to special summon our 2 Burning Skull Heads, and they're going to inflict 1,000 points of damage apiece to our opponent. Now, luckily, because we have utilized the effect of our Wandering Titan of Tartarus, chances are our opponent's board is pretty much empty at this point, which will allow us to swing directly. Our opponent has already taken 3,000 points of damage, and so 1, 2, 3, that's 6,000, and with 2,600 on our Wandering Titan of Tartarus, that's 8,600 points of damage. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the Burning Skull Head OTK. So, hope you enjoyed that. All right, so this next combo, of course, involves our Skull Flame, or a way to get to our Skull Flame. The perfect way that I like to bring out Skull Flame is either using Volcarion the Rotting Phoenix if it's in hand, or your Curse of the Ancient Turtle / Pyramid Turtle if your Skull Flame is in deck. So 2 really, really easy ways to bring out a incredibly powerful card. So let me demonstrate to you guys kind of what we are going to do here. So to start out, I'm going to normal summon our Volcarion the Rotting Phoenix, bounce this back to our hand to special summon any zombie in our hand, which of course includes our Skull Flame. So now we can bring that to the field. We have one of 2 plays that we can make with this hand. The first play, of course, that we can make is we can special summon our Volcarion again. Level 8 plus 4 is allowing us to go for a level 12 Synchro Monster. My preference for this is Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon, but of course you can run any level 12 Synchro that you would like. You can also do a Link 2, I believe, with this play, which is also pretty cool. Now, either one or both of those plays can be changed when you have your League of Uniform Nomenclature strikes, allowing you to equip your Skullflame with 2 more copies of itself, making it indestructible by battle as long as these 2 copies are equipped. Now, you might be wondering why we're trying to pull our Skullflames out of our deck. Well, just as we have plays that allow us to summon from our hand and deck, we also have plays that allow us to summon from our graveyard. And even better, if you are keeping all 3 of your Skullflames in your graveyard, or something pops, or this card gets banished or something like that. I've had this banished by Primite Roar before. Pops your graveyard, then at least 1 to 2 of your Skullflames are going to be in graveyard. And that's perfect if you've got a copy of Supersonic Skullflame. Now, your goal is to just have as many of these here as you want when you're using your Supersonic Skullflame, because when it special summons to the board, it must banish 1 of your Skullflames from the grave. If you only got 1 in here, when this dies, it allows you to special summon any Skullflame that's in your graveyard, which unfortunately is not going to be the case if you've only got 1 copy and you banish it. So if you got 3 copies in here, you can banish 1 off of this, and then if it dies and doesn't miss timing, you get your OG Skullflame back. So pretty cool combo. Here's another favorite combo of mine that allows us to get in a little bit of chip damage. So you basically need either Glow Up Bloom or some way to get to it, and then a way to get your Burning Skull Head onto the field. So as long as you have those, it's not really a 3-card combo, but I can show you some interesting plays that you're able to make with it. So to start things out, we're going to start here by normal summoning our Glow Up Bloom. All right. Then what we're going to do is we are going to special our Volcarion the Rotting Phoenix, and then bounce it back to our hand. That allows us to special summon Burning Skullhead to the field. When Burning Skullhead hits board, we inflict 1,000 points of damage to our opponent since it was special summoned from our hand. We now get to Synchro Summon. So we'll send those 2 away, and we'll go for a level 4 Synchro. Now, a lot of you guys probably haven't seen this one before because it's a common, what many people would consider like a throwaway card. But the cool thing about this Synchro Monster, guys, is that it's exactly what it says that it is. If itself or a card next to it is destroyed, it pops and both players take 2,000 points of damage. Now, that's really good because you've already inflicted 1,000 off of your original Skullflame here. So that's pretty awesome. Now, of course, because you pretty much have to use your Glow Up Bloom will banish from the game and allow you to search a level 5 or higher monster from your deck to your hand, a level 5 or higher zombie monster. So, in this situation, depending on what you have, you could search out a Supersonic Skullflame. Now, that's also pretty cool because if you've already got Skullflame chilling in your graveyard, which is a possibility at this point in the duel, you special summon this, and you've got that built-in 400 chip damage that you can do off of that. So that's 3,400 points of damage, and then with 26 plus 34, that is, I want to say that is 6,000 points of damage, plus 2K off of your Star Mine against an empty board is exactly 8K in damage. So really nice kind of OTK play here that you can do off of very few cards, to be honest with you. So another cool combo. All right, so one of my other favorite combos in this deck revolves around having Algul Mazera, and then a way to get it to the graveyard. And you can also use your Skull Conductor for this as well, which is pretty cool. This is something that's actually come up on a couple of occasions, but I thought it might be fun to showcase to you guys. So starting out, if you have like Samurai Skull, for instance, or some way to get this to the graveyard, the only thing that you need is you need this in your hand or graveyard. Your Skull Conductor, the way that it's used is when you normal summon into the field, you can conduct your battle phase, and at the end of your battle phase, your Skull Conductor still is on your board. It will pop itself. Now, your Algul Mazera doesn't like to, can protect a zombie-type monster on your board from getting popped. So you reach the end of the battle phase, then you can banish this instead of that getting popped, and when it gets banished, it will special summon back to your board, and you can decrease its level by 1. So that gives you a nice chump block body to go into main phase 2 as an extra special summon if you want to go into Duration, the level 11 Synchro, or any other Link plays that you might have here. So pretty interesting way to take advantage of the drawback of your Skull Conductor at the end of the battle phase, which I think is a pretty useful play.